Good afternoon and a very warm welcome to this very short 5-minute broadcast. My name is Mala and I'm a student of the Brahma Kumaris World Spiritual University. And the topic we have today is shifting from surviving to thriving, a vision of my future. So let's start today's broadcast with just sitting together and taking a deep breath together and just focusing on arriving here to this broadcast, not as the body that got up this morning to face the list of what to do for the day, the deadlines, the crowded trains or traffic, but as the soul, the point of light, quietly observing everything, quietly sitting in the center of the forehead, behind these eyes. And for a moment, let go of the grind. Let go of what happened just now, this morning, or just getting through the rest of the day. And ask yourself the question, what if today isn't something to survive, but to live and enjoy? Because so much of our life is spent in the survival mode. We wake up in the morning, and before we've even opened our eyes fully, the mind is already racing. What is to be done, what to do, what is due, what happened last night, which is left undone. And this is what we call survival consciousness. It's efficient because it gets things done. But it's also filled with tension, and it's narrow. It sees today, the day, as an obstacle course to get over. So thriving is a very different vision entirely. It doesn't mean that my to-do list or all the deadlines I have will just miraculously disappear. No, it means my relationship with my to-do lists and my deadlines change. A thriving soul will still do the work, wash the dishes, go to the office, sit in traffic, get stuck in a crowded, hot train. But internally, the vision, the view is very different. The thriving soul comes from a place of fullness, not depletion. Because the soul is originally peace, love, and power, not a struggling soul. Struggle is when I'm in the consciousness of being the body, the costume, which we have worn for so long that we have mistaken this for our real nature. So every task today, let's just have this elevated vision, is not a demand on my energy. Rather, it's an opportunity to give my energy, no matter what that situation is. And there is a subtle difference between the two. I have to do this, or I have to get this done. Or what can I bring into this situation. One drains, the other fills. So when we make this shift practically, and we can do this from task to task to task, and experiment, even something small, like replying to an email message, or washing the dishes, or getting involved in an issue. Pause for a couple of seconds and silently offer it. Offer that response, that reaction, that I have to do something. Just offer that. Let me do this as a gift, not a debt. And watch how the same action feels different inside. So thriving also means remembering I am more than just my efficiency at coming up with the goods, coming up with the action, the output. My worth isn't measured by how efficiently I have carried out a task and ticked off the matters on my checklist. It's measured by how much patience, how much love, how much fullness I've brought into an ordinary moment. And that's the moment no one is grading, no one is looking, no one is judging, but I am. This is the elevated vision. It's a fuller way of living our life. And just to illustrate, there was a gardener who watered her plants every single day. Now, this was in her to-do list, and she was rushing around, just watering, but constantly checking her watch and thinking only of finishing the task. Now, one day she felt ill and she couldn't go out to water her plants, so she asked her granddaughter to water them instead. The little girl walked slowly. As she poured water on the plants, she paused to look at each plant, appreciate it, happily humming a little tune while she was watering. And this went on for a few days. And when the gardener recovered, she noticed something. The same plants, the same water, watered in the same way. But the plants looked greener. And this was palpably noticed by the gardener. And she asked her granddaughter, "What did you do?" The girl simply said, "Grandma, I wasn't watering it to finish and to check the checklists. I was watering to give life, love, attention, care." And the gardener understood. It was never the water, but it was the consciousness behind the act of watering. Was I taking or was I giving? So in closing, let all our actions, maybe not all, maybe one or two, let's try that, be like that granddaughter's watering, not rushed, not for finishing, although it may be a deadline, but for giving. I am giving something into the situation. Let's keep that elevated vision as we move through the rest of the day and shift from surviving to thriving. So let this garden thrive with love and attention. Thank you.